So today we'll take all those questions which were not answered in the last session, and Sanati will be spending his time today with us to answer your queries now. So Sanati, welcome back once again. Thanks so much for your
Namaste.
time.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's a blessing to share this session with you, brother. And special thanks as well to Sunil, John, and the whole team of Saptarishis Astrology who make this possible.
Thank you so much.
I think before we get started today, I'd like to invite all of the Devas to come and join us. So let us pray together for a short moment, and then we will dive into these questions.
Sure.
Will you join me for 3 Om, Mohichi?
Sure, Sanati.
Gananam tva ganapati mahavamahe kavim kavinamupamashravastamam jaishtarasham brahmanam brahmanaspatanaha shrinmanu tibihi sidasadanam vakratunda mahakaya suryakoti samaprabha Nirvignam kurume deva sarvakayeshu sarvada siddhi pati shakti sahita Shriman Mahaganati Pataye Namo Namaha Nirvignam Kuru Om Ya Kundendu Tusharahara Tavala Ya Shurvavasravrata Ya Vina Varadanda Manditakara Ya Shweda Padmasana Ya Brahma Chuta Shankara Prabhritir Vihir Devai Sada Vandita Saman Batu Saraswati Bhagavati Nishesha Jajapaha Om Guru Brahman Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Om Hima Kunda Mrinalabam Daijanam Paramam Guru Sarva Shastra Pravaktaram Bhargavam Pranamam Yaham Hima Kunda Mrinalabam Daijanam Paramam Guru Sarva Shastra Pravaktaram Bhargavam Pranamam Yaham Om Dram Dream Dram Saha Shukraya Namah. 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 Om Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Bandhu Cha Saka Tvameva Veja Dravinam Tvameva Sarvam Amriteshwarye Mama Tvameva Sarvam Amriteshwarye Mama Tvameva Sarvam Amriteshwarye Namaha. Hari Om. Om Namah Shivaya. Namaste. Okay, Mohichi, let's get started then. What's our first question?
Let me share my screen with you. Okay. Ksanati, if you remember, there were a couple of questions which were already discussed in the last Astro Darbar. So the ones which were left, I will be asking those only, and those which were already been taken, I have highlighted them in the red, like this. So we won't be taking these questions which are highlighted in red. Okay.
Okay, great.
Okay, so let's straight away go to question number four. This was asked by Bhavik. If you can see the details, the DOB is 21st of January 1993, time 10:30 a.m. Place is Rajkot, Gujarat. And based on these credentials, the chart is here below. Now, the question he is asking, continuous failure in study from the last 3.5 years, and he is doing CA, Chartered Accountant course, and he is facing humiliation due to lack of money. So he needs guidance what to do in life.
Thank you, Mohichi. Namaste, Bhavik. I hope you have opportunity to view this Darbar, because we are going to dive into your query together today. First thing I want to say is when we discuss the karma in these chart together today, we discuss two different parts. First thing we are going to discuss is what the karma is, which means what astrological influence is causing this karma. And then once we talk about the influences of that karma, then we will focus on remedy, what we can do to improve their karma. When we're looking at some of your study karma and some of your financial karma, first thing is you mentioned a humiliation due to lack of money. Well, there is very strong vibration in your chart which has certain difficulties as far as finances. One of the first things that I've noticed in your chart, which are very challenging in terms of financing, is having Venus in the 12th bhava. Your Venus is in Aquarius, so Venus and Saturn are friends. So Venus does pretty well in Aquarius. But the 12th house is the house of moksha, okay? And whenever you have Venus, which is the lord of wealth, in the house of moksha, you're looking at a karma, certain challenging influence financially. And when you look at Kumbha, when you look at Aquarius karma, it's generally a fixed karma. There are different types of karma. There's movable karma. There is non-movable karma or fixed karma, and there's dual karma, karma which with much work we can change. But when we look at Aquarius, it is very more fixed karma. So there is a challenging to the financial karma here. What can we do to improve that is the real question. But we're looking at certain financial challenges there. Also, you have 3 planets in Capricorn in the 11th house. The 11th house is profit. You have Saturn in Capricorn. So there are delays, there are adversities, there are struggles, there are obstacles in your achievement, in the full reaching of your potential, in the full alignment of your dreams. Now, you're very young, and when I look at your dasha period, you're towards the end of your moon dasha. You're towards the end of your moon dasha right now, and the moon dasha is in your 10th house, which is the house of your career. So there are energies which are suggesting more potential in your career at this time. But the moon is in Sagittarius. So as you mentioned, your chartered account source, I could see Sagittarius having to do with that. But the moon is much more sympathetic. The moon is much more empathetic. So as far as the highest realization in your career, we're looking at something that involves the emotions. We're looking at something that involves the heart. And so I hope at some point in the evolution of your career, there's some emotional aspect of it as well. But you are soon to go into your Mars Mahadasha, and Mars is retrograde in the 4th house, which aspects your 10th house. And that aspect on your 10th house will mean in the Mars Dasha, you will be more busy and active during your career. However, ultimately, when you have Venus in the 12th house in a fixed sign like Aquarius like this, ultimately, the spiritual lesson is to not have attachment to money, is to not as much worry about the money, is to surrender the money. Because when Venus represent materiality is in the 12th house, your path towards moksha, your path towards spiritual realization has to do with reduction of materiality, reduction of attention or priority to money. So part of the reason why you struggle with money is because it is not your spiritual evolution to be very rich, to be very wealthy. If you were to be extremely rich or wealthy, it might get in the way of you being your highest spiritual evolution. It doesn't mean that you will not be successful in your career. You will be successful in your career. And during your Mars Dasha, you will probably be very busy in your career. But throughout the entire lifetime, we're looking at a karma which is to not pay as much prioritization towards money in the material world, pushing you to let go of that as being something important. Now, as far as what else to do as far as these karmas, you want to improve the karma with Venus. So when we're looking at some of the challenging financial karmas and the finish, also you have Rahu in the 9th house, which is the house of higher education. So we're looking at the challenges with your education from the debilitation of Rahu in the 9th house. Some astrologers to believe that Rahu is debilitation in Scorpio. So we might have very challenging Rahu karma here in the 9th house, which creates confusions, setbacks, certain challenges in education. Now, eventually that will probably be transcended. In other words, this path of Rahu, you will finish your education. Whenever Rahu is in the 9th house, it does show this finishing of whatever education you want to finish. It just means that there might be some confusion along the way. It's even possible that what you are studying now, your chartered account course, that you will actually study something different in the future, possibly during your Mars Rahu Dasha. But we do want to focus on to improve the karma with Venus, and you can do this into your daily life. I encourage you to perform Venus mantra. I encourage you to have well-placed Venus yantra throughout your house. I encourage you to, you also have Jupiter in 7th house, so important is relationship with partner. It's important that you are devoted to the partner and you have healthy relationship romantically. But when we're really talking about the greatest potential for you, believe it or not, this actually will assist you in becoming more wealthy. It is the concept of not to undervalue the material world and not to overvalue the material world, because Venus wants us to have proper relationship to the material world. Something I like to tell my clients, God is always more important than money. Family is always more important than money. Your health, your well-being is always more important than money. And so whenever we put the importance of money, we put the importance of the material world above our family, above God, above our own health, we are corrupting our karma. We are creating really negative karma. So it's important to always put those things that are more important than the material world, that are more important than money, in the proper place. But also not to undervalue money. You need money to have certain experiences that make life enjoyable, to give yourself the food that you need, to give yourself the shelter that you need. So, it's about cultivating the proper relationship to the material world. We're talking about balance and harmony. Venus is the great guru of duality. So ultimately, there are some challenging karmas to the completion of the education or setbacks in that area, as well as over financial wealth. But by focusing on moksha, by focusing on the proper relationship to the material world, there is a great benefit to improve your karma with Venus. We could see some more financial success that way.
Okay, Ksanati, thank you very much. I hope Bhavik will listen to your advices and maybe he'll plan accordingly in future. Let's move to the next question. Question number 6, because 5 I have already marked as that, so it has been discussed. Question number 6, this is from Kulbir Jaswal. His question is effects of retro Mars in Aries in third house for a Aquarius ascendant.
Okay, cool beer, great question. Aquarius ascendant. I have a special place in my heart for Aquarius ascendant. Why? I'm an Aquarius ascendant. So I always look at question for Aquarius ascendant. Now, for most Aquarius ascendant, Mars is not positive energy. That means unless Mars has very high dignity or favorable dignity in the chart for Aquarius ascendant, it acts as a functional malefic, because Mars and Saturn are enemy to each other. Saturn is actually debilitated in Aries. So when you're looking at Aries karma, it can be challenging for the Aquarius ascendant in general, because Aries is ruled by Mars. Now you're talking about your Mars is within Aries and it's retrograde. So Mars is in natural sign, and actually Aries is the Mula Tricona sign of Mars. So it prefers to be in Mars than Scorpio. So we have Mars in its Mula Tricona position here. But so when a planet is in this position of Aries, of Mula Tricona like this, it could be considered an auspicious effect. But then because you're Aquarius ascendant, the more mixed effect, because the Saturn-Mars relationship is not positive. So we're looking at a very powerful Mars, with Mars and Aries, probably something along the lines of, you will be a person which has strong energy. You will be a person which has strong power. You will be a person which has strong courage. But because Mars is retrograde, sometimes that can get out of balance, because this will create excessive amount of the pitta quality, the fire element, the pitta dosha. And so this can lead to restlessness, irritability, discontent. Aquarius ascendant is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is Shanaishcharaya Namaha, the slow mover, the slow moving planet. Aries and Mars are fast moving, action oriented planet. So there is a duality that can be challenging there. So even though you have all of this action and energy, which is part of your journey with the Mars-Aries retrograde, there will be certain delays for the Aquarius. There will be certain obstacles for the Aquarius. There will be certain setbacks for the Aquarius. And Aries does not do well with setback. Aries does not do well with delay. So ultimately, we're looking at a little bit of a duality when you're talking about Aquarius ascendant, Mars, Aries. And then the position of the third house is also very interesting. The third house is Upachaya house, self-improvement house. So it kind of shows that even when life gives you challenges, setbacks, delays, and these kind of things, which are common with the Aquarius ascendant. That it is part of your self-improvement to push past that, to be action and energy oriented. Do not let the delays get you down. Do not let the setbacks get you down. Do not let the test, challenges, and obstacles get you down. Because for Aries vibration, especially in Mars, often in life, we take one step forward, then another step backward. But not for Mars, not for Aries. They take one step forward, then they want to take another step forward, then they want to take another step forward. They're not even considering the looking of backward. So this is part of the dualistic karma. The third house of the Upachaya house shows to not let those adversities get you down. Also, this is the house of ambition, motivation, intention. Okay? So this is where you need to be courageous. You need to be confident as to reach the full potential in your life. Also, Mars is planet of sibling. Third house is house of sibling. So strong indication here you should also have many siblings, just as another piece of that.
Thank you so much, Ksanati, for addressing this question in detail. Now let's move to the next one. It's not mentioned whose question is this, but let's take this question. How to see government job in a chart, which houses to see, which planets to see, and which divisional chart to consult preferable dasha.
Yeah, great question, anonymous individual. Great question from our anonymous friend, whoever you are. When we look at government job and chart, we're looking at Arta or Kama houses that are being influenced by governmental energies. So you can look in the second house. I also like to look in the 10th house and the 11th house. So the second house, 6th house, 10th house, 11th house. Those are the houses which we're looking for when we're looking at a government job. But we need to see planets too. Two of the strongest planet which represent the government and working within the government is Saturn. Often people who have Saturn in 10th house, Saturn in 2nd house, they can work for some type of government, or at least they will work for some type of organization. Also, Jupiter has representations for working for the government, especially in terms of law and the legal system, especially with Sagittarius vibration. So I like to look at Saturn, Jupiter, as far as planets working for government. Sometimes Sun, because it has to do position with authority. So if you are going to be like congressman, senator, president, you're going to need a strong Sun position in one of those houses that we talked about. The president, Donald Trump, he has Rahu's Sun conjunction, 10th house. This helped him win presidency. So we're looking at those houses. Divisional charts for, it's a good question. Divisional charts for preferable dasha. First thing I want to say is use your natal chart. See at what times of the life in your Vimshatari natal dasha that those government energies are being activated. For example, if you have Saturn in 10th house in natal chart, or you have Saturn in 2nd house, Saturn in 6th house, Saturn in 11th, look at that position of when Saturn is activated in Mahadasha, in Antardasha, of Vimshodari. This should actually show you an indication of when you can get a job at this time. We're also, again, looking for Sun and Jupiter energies, but these could be aspects as well. Now, as far as divisional charts, always for a career, I like to look at D10. D10, the Dashamsha. The Dashamsha is very good for looking at this energies. I also look at the D9 because the D9 can show the individual's dharma. Okay, so these are some of the main. So primarily, as far as divisional for career, government position within career, I like to look at 10 house. Divisional 10 chart. But you can also use divisional 9.
Okay, thank you so much for this detailed answer. I think this question may be from Abhishek Basu. It's mentioned right here. So I'm assuming Abhishek might have got clear answer to his query. Let's move on to the next one. This is red, which means it has already been discussed. Ninth is also discussed. Okay, let's go to question number 10. This question has been asked by Swati Soni. Based on her birth details, the chart is here. Her question is, please tell me when and where she'll find a job.
Okay, Swati ji, let's look at this question for you to assist you in finding job. This is important to support. Now, first thing I want to say is we talk about where the karma is coming from. Why do you face challenges within job? Well, your Venus conjunction with Pluto in 10th house. Now, this doesn't normally automatically create challenging karma, but your Venus is in Virgo. And when Venus go into Virgo, it go into debilitation position. And according to Parashara, when planet go into debilitation position without Neech Bhanga, and there's no real Neech Bhanga here, when planet go into debilitation, you get very inauspicious effect. So that means there could be debilitated effect on 10th house. We can see debilitated effect on career. Now, here's something interesting, more something philosophical, just for you to think about, to reflect about. That often the debilitated Venus energy in the 10th house, it creates a certain vibration in which you do not necessarily get recognition in your career. It doesn't mean you will not ever have job, but it makes it difficult to get recognition during your lifetime. Venus has an energy which it brings which is dead back to life. Okay, Venus has karma, but when Venus is debilitated, sometimes the resurrection of the career, it doesn't really manifest till after the lifetime. So, for example, many famous artists, right? Visual artists, musical artists are amazing, but many artists do not get recognized until after they pass. This is common for the energy of a debilitated Venus. It's almost as if the death itself will bring recognition for the work that you do. It is always something very interesting for all artists in the world, that their recognition of their music, the recognition of their art, the recognition of their work, it only gets stronger. It only gets stronger when they pass. And this can show strong of the debilitation Venus energy. Now, that's part of where this karma is coming from. You also have a debilitated Jupiter retrograde in the second house, but that is Neech Bhanga. That is Neech Bhanga Yoga, because it's retrograde debilitation, so it act exalted. So, but this also makes challenging for career. It shows that maybe you will have some financial energy, maybe from partner, maybe from ancestor or family, but that doesn't necessarily support the career. So then, when will the career be the most fruitful? So it's very interesting that you're in Jupiter, you're in Rahu Mahadasha, and you're in the Jupiter Antardasha. So when we look at this energy, we're looking at Rahu activation, which is Lagna Sagittarius. Again, we're looking at another potential debilitation. Some believe that Rahu is debilitation in Sagittarius, but Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter, and then Jupiter also being activated in the second house. The second house, which is the house of Artha, prosperity, success, financial security. So there is this strong indication that there is a desire for career. There is a desire to make money. There is a desire to find job. And actually, this period continue until November 25 of this year. So you might even find job during this period. However, Rahu bring uncertainty. Rahu bring confusion. And so not necessarily is this Rahu period going to be the most supportive for your job, for your career evolution. Now, it will be very interesting when your 10th house get activated. This is actually the time I think will be very, very, very powerful for you. Now, you don't go through the Rahu Venus period until 2025. That's 7 years away. I'm not saying you will not have job until then. I'm just saying some great fulfillment in your job. It might not hit its climax until then. You go through all this strong karma of relationship when your Saturn subdasha gets activated in November, then your Ketu subdasha in 2024. So again, the strongest indication for you to find job is actually within the next 5 or 6 months. The next 5 or 6 months is actually one of those most auspicious times for you, for your career. But the Saturn period, I think that it will be more like you might find job during this Jupiter period. But during the Saturn period, Saturn is the one that works us. Saturn is the Shudra, which is the slave or the servant. So it's possible that more hours during the Saturn subdasha. But overall, we're looking at an energy in the chart here, which is in the future. I don't know if you are married, but it looks like a large amount of the energy in your chart goes towards the relationship, goes towards the marriage. So it's possible energy will go towards that versus career first. In other words, you have strong career energies. I do think you will find job possibly within next 5 to 6 months. But there seems to be strong relationship karma, which is being activated before the greatest evolution in your financial karma. But again, Mercury rules your 10th house. You go into Rahu, Mercury, January 2021, and that is less than 3 years away. So it's just saying that you might find job, but it's most likely not going to relate to your career for at least a little while until the Mercury activation in 2021. Which is another thing that the Saturn subdasha, which started in November, is encouraging for you, which is patience. Now, for finding a job, we can look at astrocartography together, but there are so many questions to answer that I believe that I should move on to the next question now. So I just hope that was helpful in understanding when the job and financial karma will be activated, and what are some of the challenges that are influencing that.
Okay, thank you, Ksanati. I'm sure that should be helpful for Swati. Now let's go to the next question. This question is from Shankar Kumar, and based on his birth details, we have the chart. And his question is, since 2011, he has been facing toughest time regarding earning money. So he is looking for some effective or fruitful remedies for that.
Mohitji, it's interesting. This seems to be a common thread in the questions so far. Questions of career, questions of money, yes?
Yeah, money is the most important thing.
I know. It's and ultimately that is our the world that we live in. The way that the society encourages us.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't know. I just want to make just small comment that there are many more, and we talked about this earlier. Here's the very interesting thing about the material world and money, just philosophically. On one side of it, we know that money is Maya. Okay, we know that money is illusion. God did not create money; human create money, and so it is illusion. And so there's this one side of it where we know. But if you do not have money, then you do not have food because of the world. If you do not have money, then you do not get to travel ever. If you do not have money, you cannot give your children good education. So, yes, this is the world that we live in, but I always feel so much sadness when I think about how much of the society and world try to put emphasis to make money. Like, this is more important. And in the process, we forget God, we forget our family, we forget our bodies, we forget all of these things which are so much more important. However, I do deeply respect that if you do not have money, it makes it hard to have good quality of life. So that is why I love to support everyone in this community to have arta, to have prosperity, success, and financial security, because I want everyone to have the food that they want to have, the education that they want to give their family, the proper health care, and everything which money has. And at the same time, I wish money was not so important in our world.
Right.
So when we look at Shankar Ji's question, tough time regarding money. I thought it was interesting because you are in Jupiter retrograde in Libra, and then Jupiter is currently in Libra. So you're going through Jupiter return of your second house. So this could be the retrograde position in enemy sign. Again, Jupiter and Libra, enemy, because Libra ruler is Venus, and Jupiter and Venus not real friend to each other. You would think, both planets so positive, why don't they get along? But Jupiter does not do well in Venus sign, so we're looking at challenging dignity along with the retrograde. That could be part of some of the reason why you're dealing with some financial difficulties. Also, you have a Mars-Saturn conjunction, Mangal Shani Yoga in the 8th house, okay? Saturn is debilitation in Aries. Mars is in Mula Tricona in Aries. Wow, this is really powerful, Shankar. So you have planetary war between Mars and Saturn, and Mars has won war, okay? Mars has won the war between Mars and Saturn, so you have very strong Mars, and Saturn is left weakened here. Now, a weak Saturn is not always the worst thing, but a debilitated Saturn in the 8th house can give many adversities throughout the life, many challenges. The 8th house is the house of moksha. So Saturn is here pushing you in a challenging way towards moksha. This means you cannot have much attachment to anything. So we're looking at some of the challenges to the financial karma. However, very interesting, you have exalted Venus and debilitation Mercury. So unique niche bung effect here. Now the exalted Venus, it desire two things always. One, material or financial prosperity, and another is the soulmate, romantic love. You have Venus in 7th house, so romantic love going to be very important here for the full satisfaction of your soul's kama, the fulfillment of your soul's manifestation of its dreams. Your Venus period is activated right now. You're in your Venus Mahadasha. Now, obviously, the Rahu Antardasha here, we're looking at Rahu in the 6th house in Aquarius. So Rahu in natural sign, because Aquarius is natural sign for Rahu. So your Rahu is very, very strong. And your Rahu at 18 degrees. So it's close to middle of house, middle of sign. And so you're looking at a very strong Rahu. The 6th house energy is a job house. It's a work house, but it's not our career. It shows that you might be working a wage, but that wage might not be enough. Oftentimes, when the 6th house is activated, it's not like we get a bountiful salary. It's like we get paid $5 an hour, $6 an hour, $7 an hour, which makes it hard to just survive, makes it hard to have any money to save. So it will be very, very fruitful for you, my friend, when this Rahu Antardasha is over, because then you will go into Jupiter Antardasha. Jupiter activate your 2nd house of wealth, okay? So as soon as this house gets activated, which is August 2019, it will show much greater chance here and for the financial wealth. Now, in the meantime, because you still have to survive and try to be financially successful between now and then, you want to focus remedy on Rahu. You want to focus remedy on Rahu. Rahu is what is challenging your financial karma right now. Now, we could talk about 5-10 hours about how to improve our karma with Rahu, because it's absolutely one of my favorite topics. if it's actually one of my most enthusiastic topics, is to improve karma with Rahu and Ketu. But first thing I want to say, just as far as this period for you in your life, Rahu makes us worry about the future. It makes us worry and feel anxious about that which we are uncertain of. And we are always uncertain about the future. And Rahu is in the 6th house, so it activates your job and financial karma. So there's worry and anxiety about money. There's worry and anxiety about career, about job. And that is normal. But Rahu acts like a demon. Rahu is the divine demon. Rahu will act like a demon for those of us that worry about our future, to think about how much money we don't have, if we are going to be able to make the bill. Rahu shows us to live in the moment, but at the same time, Rahu makes us worry about the future. So it causes powerful soul lessons that help us to grow to live in the moment. One more thing also, Remedy, is to think about your soul's desire, your soul's bucket list, because Rahu represents our soul's karma, which is incomplete from past lifetime. That means there is certain karma as far as the service that you're doing, as far as the work that you're doing, as far as how you're earning money, what you have started in the past lifetime, and you need to fulfill that in this lifetime. So yes, there is a very strong encouragement here to focus your karmas on improving with Rahu. And I want you to think about, what does your soul desire? What is your soul's bucket list? Rahu represents outsider. Rahu represents foreign and exotic and mystical. So it shows that if you are to try to make money in Ayurveda, in astrology, in yoga, it will be beneficial. Also, Rahu represents success in foreign country. So if you go to try to make money in country outside of India, this might even be more successful than your potential to make money in India. Whenever we have strong Rahu karma, it limits we have even greater success in a foreign land. So it is just saying that while you're still in this Rahu period, there are Rahu remedy you can apply. We discussed those. But also just know that when your Jupiter Antardasha get activated, it will activate your 2nd house along with the Jupiter return. And this will be very fruitful for you financially. So it just kind of is just kind of showing for the next 15, 16 months, really just try to live in the moment, be patient, experience what the soul wants to experience, focus on astrology, yoga, Ayurveda, outside of the box things. It is easier to make money outside of the box with Rahu than it is to make money inside of the box. And when I talk about box, I'm talking about society.
Okay, thank you so much, Ksanati. I'm sure Shankar might have got his answer addressed properly, and he'll work on those remedies for Rahu. Now let's move on to the next one. This
Great.
is from Mukesh Kumar Sharma. Based on his birth details, we have his chart, and his question is, I think he is preparing for a examination for UPSC, which is Union Public Service Commission examinations, and he is asking what
kind of job? What kind of job is it, Mohitji? UPSC?
it's a exam which is to be cleared to get government job, maybe some bureaucratic job or some other jobs which are being conducted by, these tests are being conducted by this UPSC.
Understand.
Union Public Service Commission. So he says that what combination of 5 planets in 8th house, whether my sun is in power, what about Hamsa, Sharla, Vimala, Viprita Rajyoga and my Kundli. So he's talking about those Viprita Rajyogas in his Kundli, whether they'll fructify or not, and those 5 planets in his 8th house.
Yeah. So again, looking at those yogas, the ruler of your 6th house, Saturn, is position 8th house. Okay, that's one yoga. Then we look at ruler of 8th house, position in 6th house. There's another yoga. So you have 6 planet ruler, position 8th house. eighth planet position ruler in sixth house. So there is exchange. So even though you have all of this karma in Moksha Bhava, which, as I'm sure you experience, is strongly spiritual, is strongly mystical. Immediately I look at this chart and I wish to meet you because it showed your soul is extremely spiritual. And the exchange of the yogas between the sixth and the eighth house is going to be very positive for you. You ask whether the sun is in power. The sun is not in power. The sun is not in power here. So when we look at that heavily packed eighth house, we immediately notice Venus. Venus in Revati Nakshatra Pisces, exaltation. And so Venus is in power, okay? Now, Sun also have power here. It is just under the degree of the Venus. So when we look at Venus, we say Venus is your Atmakaraka, okay? But then the Sun is your Ayatmakaraka. It's the second in control. So your Sun does have power and has strong influence, and that should support your chances to clear this UPSC. The exchange between the sixth and eighth house yoga should support you to be clear this exam. And also, Jupiter position and Saturn sign in sixth house show government job very strongly. Former President Obama was Jupiter, Capricorn, Saturn, Lagna. Again, he had Guru Shani Yoga in Capricorn and Lagna. So there is very strong indication here of potential success in governmental position, especially as far as your work, as far as your career. Also, Venus rule your 10th house. So again, an exaltation brought to your 10th house, you will be very successful in your career. You will be prominent in your career. And I think there will be great success there. But the sun is in second in power as far as Venus really being the one which has the strongest power. I do like your chances to clear this exam. Also, worth mentioning, you're in Mercury Mahadasha, and your Mercury is in ninth house of higher education. Mercury is already planet of study, and one of the planets of study. And then also it is in a house of education. So it does show strong indications of education at this time for you. And so even though you are going to clear this exam, there is going to be more education. It is showing a strong educational energy for you all the way until Ketu Mahadasha in 2026. What's that? 8 years away. So even though you clear this exam and start to work in government position, it is like an experiential education. You learn as you do the job. And so even as you get position in government, there will still be strong educational element which is going on. Yeah. But okay. Venus seems to have slightly more power over Sun.
Okay, thank you so much, Ksanati. Let's move to the next question. This one I have marked red, so which means it has already been discussed. 14th as well. Now 15th, it's a long question. Okay. This is...
Mohichi, after this question, let us take a 3-minute break. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, fine.
Okay,
so,
great.
This question has been asked by Anshuman Guru. Based on his birth details, we have a chart here. And his query is about his marriage. He is doing MBBS, which is doctor. He is MBBS, that is doctor by profession. And he wants to get married next year. But many astrologers are predicting that he'll get married this year. But he's preparing for PG, which is post-graduation entrance examination on December 2018. So he cannot get married before that. So can I have chances in 2019, or will it be too late till 2021 if I don't get married by this year? His second question is, if he is allowed Please help me as I'm very much worried about my Rahu Mahadasha from 2019 onwards. And Rahu is in his fourth house in Satabisha Kumbha,
Shatabishak, yes.
Kumbha, expected by Saturn, Venus, and Moon. So, how will it be? And if there is any remedy if it's bad? So, two questions. First is regarding his marriage. Second is about his Rahu Mahadasha, whether it will go good or bad.
Namaste, Ansuman Guru. Thank you, Mohichi, for sharing question. When I look at this question, I believe when we answer one question, we actually answer both. Because when I answer your first question, I'm going to talk about your Rahu Mahadasha, because that is so. Whenever astrologer make bold prediction, I think astrologer is at risk to. In other words, let's talk about karma. I love philosophy. Let's talk about karma. When we look at chart of karma, there is not just one possibility for how our life is supposed to turn out, my friends, my brothers and sisters. The chart shows all of potential karma. The chart shows all of potential possibilities. So oftentimes in this world, there is like an argument. Some people say that they believe in what is called fate. And that means that everything is in destiny to happen. And then there are other people who believe in free will, which means there is no destiny, there is only choice. But the truth is that there is both, that both of these things are beautiful. Why do we always argue when the answer is in the middle? Okay? The chart shows certain potentials, karmic possibilities, and based on certain life choices and decisions we make, we align to certain possibilities over other. So just to kind of address the energy of this question, I don't want you to worry that if you do not get married in the next year, then oh no, you have to worry that your marriage karma will be gone forever. No, if you have strong marriage karma in your chart, it will go through activation maybe now. And the reason why I think the astrologers told you the prediction of marriage is because of this strong activation of your fifth house during your Mars Mahadasha, and that once the Mars Mahadasha is over, as you enter into Rahu Mahadasha, it'll be harder challenge for a marriage. But that is because many astrologers give Rahu bad rap. Rahu always get us what we want. Rahu always give us what we want. It might not be when we thought we'd get it. It might not be how we thought we'd get it. And it might not even look like what we thought it would look like. But we still get what we want with Rahu. Okay? I do not want you to fear about this because all of the Asian of the fifth house is also education house. So you are finishing your education, and that is the primary activation of this Mars Dasha. That is the possibility or potential that your soul aligned to at this time, and now you are following that potential to its destiny. So you are doing everything in alignment with your Dharma. The fifth house is Dharma house. This education is your Dharma. So you are doing your Dharma. And don't let any astrologer tell you that getting married is more Dharma than your education right now. Because that is not true. Now, when you look at this transition, can you have chance in 2019 for marriage? Great question. Great question. You go through double Rahu Mahadasha. Let's be honest. You're not likely to get married during your double Rahu Mahadasha. It's just not entirely likely, my friend. Now, I've seen people get married during their Rahu Mahadasha, but there will be many changes in your career by Rahu aspect on your 10th house. Once you finish your education, there's many chances for great changes in your career, but also home, because Rahu is in 4th house. Maybe you will move countries. It is possible that in your Rahu Mahadasha, you will move countries, my friend. Not just city, not just state, you will move country. Okay, so maybe that's when you meet your wife, or maybe you're in relationship now, but in other words, there is still much to experience. However, your intuition is right. When Jupiter Antardasha begin, this activate your 7th house of marriage, okay? Because your Jupiter in retrograde Taurus in 7th house. By the way, Taurus energy in 7th house make for very stable and secure marriage. Maybe because of Jupiter retrograde and enemy sign here, though, partner will have extra weight. That is just joke, but also possibility. Very strong kapha energy for partner. But when that energy get activated in June, I believe June 27, 2021, this will again be strong, auspicious window for marriage. So it's true, less likely to get married during your double Rahu Mahadasha, but again, huge energetic opportunity sets itself up again when Jupiter comes back in with Antardasha.
Okay, Sanati, thank you so much. I hope now Anshuman can plan accordingly about his marriage and his PG entrance exam. So, as you mentioned, let's take a break for 2-3 minutes. Let me stop share and let me. Hi, Sanati, welcome back.
Thank you.
Let me share you the screen once again. Okay. Now,
Great.
let's move directly to question number 18 because others before 18 they are read. So this question has been asked, I believe, on behalf of someone, maybe a friend, and the name is Uma. She is asking whether her friend will get married or not, and based when if that person whose chart is this will be married, if so, then when? Then based on the birth details, here we have the chart and the
Mohitji, in my guru, she does not want me to look at chart for someone other than person without formal permission, so I cannot answer this question.
Okay.
In other words, because this question is not from person asking, I cannot answer it because I do not necessarily have permission. So I can't moral ethical difficulty here.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you so much. Now let's move to the next one. Now this question has been asked by father or for his son. So can we take this question?
No.
No? Okay. Then next.
Not without the son's permission.
Okay, I understand that. Thank you so much. So
I try so hard to do the right thing, you know?
No, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, you have some principle, then you should follow those ones. So let's skip this question as well and move to the next one. Question number 20th.
Okay.
This has been asked from Madhavi J. Based on her birth details, her chart is here. She has some relationship issues with her mother, father, and sister too. Now she's asking, is this due to any past life karma? Right now, in fact, I am upset with almost everyone around me. So this is emotionally very challenging for me. So she wants guidance about this issue.
Thank you so much for this question, Madhaviji. Like, I love whenever someone asks about past lifetime karma. And this is actually some of the area I want to do my research in. It's very esoteric area, but I believe that the chart will show all our past lifetime karma. Our karma with each planet, it does not show up in our chart as coincidence. we have inherit this karma from our past lifetimes. So yes, it is always due to our past lifetime karma. Now, we create karma in this lifetime, but all of that impression is set from our past lifetime anyway, because of our vrittis, because of our karmic patterns that we continue from one lifetime to the other. Now, first we talk about the karma, how it's showing up, and then what we can do to improve it. When we talk about the challenges with your father, they seem to at least be in your chart right off the bat stronger than the challenges with your mother. Now, I do see challenges with both mother, father, and sibling, and we'll talk about the different energies which those show up. The strongest karma challenge does show up with your father at this time. Now, first of all, you have a Mangal Chandal yoga, Mars Rahu conjunction. Also, the sun is there. So you have with 3 planets, very strong there, and Uranus, but not Navagraha, so I don't pay as much attention to that. But basically, this triplanetary conjunction in your 9th house, I use the 9th house for father. You sometimes use 10th house for father. 10th house might show the father's his kind of the wisdom that they how they impart their career energies to you. But the 9th house shows the wisdom that your father might impart to you. So it can show the karmic relationship to the father. Now, the Rahu there, Rahu in the house of the father can show that the father might have narcissistic tendency. Okay? That means that father live in own bubble. That means that father, it's potential the father has issues of selfishness. Also, with the Mars conjunction, there can be issues of pitta difficulty, which show aggressiveness, which show frustration, what shows the frustration of the relationship, but also your frustration with him and his frustration with you. And you're also in Mars Mahadasha, and you are entering, you're about to enter the last leg of your Mars Mahadasha, which is the Ketu Antardasha. Now, very interestingly enough, your Ketu is in the 3rd house, which is the house of sibling. So Ketu also act like Mars, and your Ketu is in Aries, which is influencing karma with sibling. So 9th house is why you have issue with father, Rahu, Mars, Sun, and then Mars activating that. And then Ketu acts like Mars too, and it could show challenging in relationship with sister. However, I just want to say that because Ketu showing up as relationship with sister, there is a more spiritual important energy or a more spiritual transformative energy in terms of the relationship with your sister. You are there to help your sister transform. Your sister is there to help you transform. I actually think in general, that's kind of what siblings are for each other. I'm the oldest of 4 siblings, and I am constantly trying to support the growth of my siblings, and they are constantly trying to support my growth. So I think ideally that's what the sibling relationship is, except there's a more transformative energy towards moksha between you and your sister. However, this energy will get activated June 12th. So very soon, this transformative energy in the relationship with your sister, it will be very strong. Now, Mars represents the father because of the 9th house. So there will be something between your father and sister too. So it's a complex karmic circle. In other words, you are having issue with your father, with your sister, with your mother. Also, your chart shows your sister having issue with your father. Maybe your sister having issue with your mother, but actually more so sister having issue with father. Now, we haven't talked very long about the karma with mother. We have Jupiter retrograde in Taurus in the 4th house, okay? So this can show the irritation or the frustration with the mother, it's very different than the frustration or irritation with the father or sister, because there are strong pitta energy, strong pitta, which is anger, which is coming from father and sister. But the Jupiter energy, it's more of a kapha energy. So this might be that your mother make you sad. Maybe your mother make you feel depressed. Maybe that your mother struggle with depression. Maybe that your mother struggle with sadness. And if you're having problems with your father or your sister's having problems with your father, this will cause a lot of grief for your mother. I guess I can see through your chart that your mother has some grief. So this grief can be very challenging as well. Is this due to any past lifetime karma? Yes. There's like these karmic circles we travel together. So it's possible with the sun in the ninth house that you were the father in the past lifetime. Now, the person that you were the father of in the past lifetime, they're the father of you. This can create conflict if you had any challenges in your parenting style in the past lifetime. In other words, yes, I'm not psychic person. I am a scientific person that speculate based on the science of Jyotish. So I cannot necessarily predict any type of past lifetime, and I think anyone who claims that they can should be looked at. It should be questioned. But ultimately, we're looking at an energy from the energies in your chart that shows, yes, there might be an exchange. There might be an exchange between you and your father in the roles from the past lifetime to now. That means that potentially you were the parent of your parents in the past lifetime. And whatever challenges that you had in your parenting style in the past lifetime, whichever ways that you might not have been the best parenting style in your past lifetime, well, now you have to deal with the effects of that from your parents. Again, this is just a speculation based on energies in the chart, but I wanted to address your question properly.
Okay, thank you so much, Ksanati. Now let's move to the next question. I hope
that was heavy.
Yeah, that was really heavy. I hope Madhvi might have got some guidance from your answer, and she'll now act accordingly, or maybe she can do something about that. Question 21st from Divanshi. Based on the birth details, we have a chart here, and the question is, what will be retro Jupiter Mahadasha in Mula Nakshatra?
Yeah.
Now she's struggling to get a job. I think this is a chart of a lady, I believe. So she asking about the Mahadasha of retro Jupiter and about job.
Yeah. So very powerful energy you have in your chart, Devanshi Ji, is Jupiter retrograde in Sagittarius. Now, again, when Jupiter is in Sagittarius, that is the favorite sign of Jupiter. So Jupiter, again, is in Mula Trikona position here, which is very close to being exaltation. And the fifth house has signification. The fifth house is the Dharma house, and that Jupiter is the planet of Dharma. So there are strong indications of the full fulfillment towards your Dharma right now. This is a strong positive time of your life. Now, as you mentioned, struggling to get a job, okay? Well, you have Jupiter conjunction with Moon in the fifth house, and then you have Mars, Mercury, and Ketu conjunction in Cancer in the 12th house. So there is such a strong duality in your chart here. Your Leo Lagna ruled by Sun. So there is strong solar energy in the identity. When we look at that 12th house position of Mars and Cancer, we see debilitation. Okay? Also Ketu in Cancer, very close to debilitation. Ketu and the Moon are such great enemy. So you're looking at strong karma here that makes getting job difficult because of all the energies towards moksha. All of the energies towards liberation is kind of focusing much more on a spiritual life versus a material life. Now you have a Venus retrograde conjunction with Saturn in the 10th house, and so there are strong energies towards your life purpose or career, but it might actually be more towards the energy of becoming a parent or being a parent. Most likely by seeing this chart, I would guess that you are a mother, and that based on this energy, that your primary life purpose is around being a mother, especially during the activation of this Jupiter Mahadasha. The fifth house is the house of progeny. So oftentimes I see this energy, especially in the 12th house. You have a very, very strong dharma here, potentially in being a mother. Now, if you're not a parent or you don't want to be a parent, then it might be towards the partner. It might be towards the relationship. But the Jupiter-Moon conjunction, it's very good for counseling. It's very good for therapy. It's very good for supporting others, giving them, because there's an empathetic wisdom here. So you're going to be able to listen to people, hear what they have to say, and then be able to support them. However, not a lot of energy is suggesting that there will be a lot of financial success or career success. More energy focusing on your service towards the world, your service towards your children, your service towards your partner, your service towards humanity. The Jupiter in the fifth house is also a very creative energy. It could show that you might have musical potential. You might have artistic potential. There's some creative expression of your energy here that is going to be very positive. Now, the Jupiter retrograde has problem with authority. So when we talk about struggling to get a job, I also have Jupiter retrograde. I have very difficult time with authority. Whenever I have boss in position of authority, I can have these challenges with this authority. So it kind of show that as far as your dharma, no one is to really have authority over you, because that does not go in alignment with your nature. That does not go in alignment with your dharma, especially as a Leo lagna, especially as a Leo ascendant. With Maga Nakshatra, I mean, oh my God, so much independent power in that Nakshatra. So we are looking at someone who, they might struggle to get a job because ideally they should work for themselves. They should have their own business. They should be doing their own creative outlet. So we are saying that, okay, maybe my advice around this energy is to look for creation of your own career, creation of your own job, creation of your own creative energies. So in other words, you might be struggling to get a job because the strongest energy in your chart is to create a job for yourself.
Okay, Ksanati, thank you so much for the detailed answer. Now let's go to question number 21st. This has been asked by Khushbu Jain, and based on her birth details, we have her chart below. And her question is, which profession she should choose in which she can excel and earn a good name and fame and wealth?
Great question, Khushbu. I'm looking forward to answer this question. I immediately like your chart very much, but I noticed Kalasarpa Yoga, very strong Kalasarpa Yoga, cutting off second house and eighth house. So Kalasarpa Yoga, for most of us who love astrology, know that Rahu and Ketu dominate and cut off half of the chart. That is why there are no planet in third house through seventh house, because of the Kalasarpa Yoga. So this is very strong energy, but can bring certain challenges in the lifetime. But it creates a very powerful transformative vibration. Now, the fact that the Kalasarpa activates the second house and the 10th house, what you're looking at is an energy that shows less focus on family, less focus on relationship, less focus on children, more focus on career, more focus on material, more focus on money. We're showing a strong energy in the chart here, which is very, very much set on its soul's evolution, having to do with great success. Also, you have Sun in Scorpio in 10th house, so there is prominence in the career. Before we even discuss what you may excel in, which career will be best for you, it is saying that whatever you put your career energy towards, you will be successful at. Basically anything that you want to do, you will be successful at, as long as it has to do with career or making money. Okay, there's a very strong positive energy in your chart here that doesn't say that you necessarily need to just choose one career that will be. Now, you will excel in many different careers. That is the first point I want to make. The second point is that how can you excel in fame and wealth? Which type of career will be the greatest for fame and wealth? By the way, this is a strong Kalasarpa, Guru Chandal type of question. Okay? Kalasarpa, Guru Chandal energy, always like the no. Fame, wealth, success, power. These are all of these things that kind of show up in these energies. So very appropriate. When you look at Saturn-Sun conjunction here, you look at planetary war, because there are no two greater enemy between Saturn and between Sun. Now, when I see this manifest in the career, the Sun is the king and Saturn is the servant. The king and the servant can sometimes have, let's put it, an awkward relationship with each other. The king knows is he in higher position, and even the most regal king doesn't necessarily know how to treat the servant. Although I think the most highest king treats the servant like every other individual, that the most righteous king treats everyone equally, regardless of caste, regardless of race, regardless of gender. That is the true righteous king. Again, that's more philosophy. But when we look at this Sun-Saturn conjunction, we look at a little bit of a conflict, okay? One side of your, especially with this energy, we have one side of your career which has to do with being successful, has to be doing prominent, and it's Scorpio. Scorpio is the sign there. And so you would be good in doing anything related to medicine. That includes allopathy, which is modernized medicine. But this also show that you would have great career potential in Ayurvedic medicine or any of the more outside of the box medicine. Especially, you can gain prominence in this. Okay, Sun position in 10th house. Also, this might have to do with astrology. Is an outside of the box kind of curious investigation. Also, you would be a great detective. You would be a great investigator. You would be a great police officer. Also, Saturn in 10th house shows that you might be successful and you work for the government. Saturn-Sun conjunction, while it's challenging, Saturn represents service. Sun represents success. So how can we be of service and success at the same time? It's called government. When we work for government, we are in service to our country, but also at the same time, we can gain success when we win election, when we win thing like this. So when you look at this Saturn-Sun conjunction, there is strong potential for you to be successful within politics. Also, to be the leader because of the Sun, but because of Saturn, of some type of service organization, especially with your Guru Chandal Yoga, as far as big picture remedy energy. We want you in your life to be of service, because there is strong energy in your chart which is seeking material and career success. So how do we balance that? How do we offset that? With service. So if you could be the leader of also, or of some type of nonprofit organization, but even if you are in some type of work that one of those areas that we mentioned, politics, medicine, if you're in some type of those areas, there has to be a portion of your work which is for free, which you are doing for free. So if you, like Dr. Vasant Lad, one of my greatest teacher, he in Pune, he has free health clinic. He's one of the top Ayurvedic doctors in the entire world, and he offers his support and medicine for free. So it also is showing something similar in your chart, where the greatest, there is some energy which you should be of service. You should be doing this for free. You are also meant to be successful in these areas, but there's also some very encouraged for you to be of service as well.
Okay, Ksanati, thank you so much for this elaborate reply for Khushbu. Now let's move to the next one, 22nd.
And just one more point, Kushbu, is that you are in Jupiter Mahadasha and you'll be entering Saturn Mahadasha. So for the whole Jupiter Mahadasha, your Jupiter is in the second house in natural sign. So it's important for you to choose at this time a career or work that will help you make lots of money. But in 2028, I know that's 10 years away, but in 2028, you will enter your Saturn Mahadasha. This is maybe where you focus more of your energy towards service.
Okay, thank you. Question 21st from Alka Kumar, based on the birthday. I think she is asking for her son.
Skip.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Is this her son's chart or her chart?
I think her son's chart.
Okay, let's skip.
Need to know about marriage of my son. Yeah, she's asking she or he. I think it's a he. It's not she, it's he. About his son. So
it's probably the son's chart. Yeah. Okay, let's skip.
Okay. 23rd, Prandya Badhe. Based on the details, this is the chart, and the question is, please tell me marriage timing and overall life. I'm looking for partner since 4 years. So she or he, I'm not sure about the gender, looking for marriage for the last 4 years, and want to know the timing of the marriage.
Great. Namaste, Pranya. It's a blessing to meet you and look at your query here today. First thing I notice is Gemini ascendant Lagna with the sun position. I like sun in Gemini. You're very jack of many trades, but you will be successful in many different areas. So that will be positive. Now, one thing when Saturn is in the first, when sun is in the first or the seventh house, the sun is the soul's direction. The sun is the soul's fulfillment. And so whenever the sun is in the first or the seventh house, part of our soul's fulfillment, our soul's satisfaction, our soul's happiness, it comes through the marriage. It comes through the marriage. So this will show that until you are married, it will feel like your soul is missing something, like your life is missing something, like your life is lacking something. This is very strong. Just by looking at sun has full aspect on seventh house. And sun and moon, their aspects are 100%. That means they're the same in the energy is same as in the aspect as the house position. So we're looking at a very strong sun influence on seventh house. Your soul will not be satisfied until you are in this relationship with your partner, with your soulmate. Sun in first or seventh house access really shows seeking of soulmate. Now, you have K2 Venus conjunction. Venus a natural sign, K2 and Venus sign. This is very challenging for romance. This is very challenging for relationship. It shows a strong amount of non-attachment to not only money, but also non-attachment to the partner. And this is very challenging energy as someone with sun aspect on seventh house. It show at times as you get closer to the relationship, it seems to get farther away. So K2 is blind. It has no eyes. Basic remedy here is stop looking. When you say that you are looking for your partner for 4 years, well, with K2 and 12th house, if you look for something, you will never find it. You have to close your eyes, you have to meditate, and you have to ask God to bring this person to you. Now, one of the best things that I like to do to support my client, a very good remedy, Dr. Lod helped originally teach me this remedy. Basically, what you want to do is you want to write down all of the qualities of the type of soulmate that you want to have on a little piece of paper. Then every night before bed, you look at that piece of paper and you meditate and you pray and you ask God, if it is meant to be, please bring this person into my life. And you pray and you ask God. So instead of going out, looking for a partner, thinking this person is this partner, you start to follow your dharma, you start to follow your spiritual path, and this person, they will come to you. It is like you create a frequency, and then you are like magnet. And what magnet does is it pulls something to you. So you create this frequency in yourself, you pull the magnet of this person to you. The Ketu Mahadasha right now, it doesn't, the Ketu Venus conjunction and the Ketu Mahadasha, it can show that the relationship could be evading you at this time. This means there is much more opportunity during your Venus Mahadasha for the marriage, for the relationship. Venus rule your 5th house. So there's strong indication. Plus, you're in Rahu Antardasha, okay? Rahu Antardasha even making more confusion, more worry. Plus in the 6th house, making you focus on work. Okay? So there's not really strong energies in your chart that are suggesting relationship at this time. Okay? You have Saturn retrograde in Aquarius in 9th house. So you have a really, really, really strong Saturn. And Saturn is Shanai Shiraya, the slow mover. So some of the things in your life, they will come slowly to you. In this case, we're looking at partner. I do think that the Venus Mahadasha will be much more supportive for your marriage and relationship than this Ketu Mahadasha, because Ketu is Moksha Karaka. However, even though once you find soulmate, there will still be many more lessons for you to not be attached to soulmate. Maybe at time of life when you are with your partner, they will have to be in another place and you will have to be in another place. And you will have to practice long distance relationship at time. So again, and also gem therapy for this energy because of K2 Venus war, we want to give Venus more strength over K2. So it would be favorable for you to wear white sapphire on your left hand ring finger. White sapphire on left hand ring finger will be also very supportive. But again, we're looking at possibly about 3 more years until the timing of the marriage is strongest.
Okay, Ksanati, thank you so much. Now let's move to the next one. This is the red. So I think we have already taken this question. 25th, same. This is also done. Now 26th. And Ksanati, if you don't mind, can we wrap up after this question and continue with the others in the next session?
Yes. Thank you so much for your service, Mohit.
Okay, so let's go to this question. This has been asked by Janvi Parekh. I think based on the name, it suggests that it's a female chart. And based on the birth detail, the chart is here. And the question is when the person will get married or not. Once engagement was broken, native is a female.
Okay, so that already they're engaged. She had engagement broken, as
Yes,
she said.
yes,
And so, will she get married, and when?
yes.
Okay, so again, we show Capricorn Lagna and Saturn retrograde. So Saturn in natural signs. So we're looking at such, again, back to back. It's always interesting because I always see these questions, there's similarities between all of them. There is a strong, slow-moving Shanishtaraya effect on the chart. You have Saturn retrograde in natural Capricorn in the Lagna. So there will be certain delays on your life, certain tests, obstacles, and challenges on your life. Then you have debilitation of Mars in 7th house. However, you have Moon in Cancer, and Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. So you have Nichbang Yoga, because you have debilitation of Cancer with exaltation of Mars. So exaltation of Jupiter help remedy this debilitation of Mars. However, you still will experience that debilitation of Mars The exaltation of Jupiter shall bring you marriage. Yes, you will get married. How you do not have moon Cancer and Jupiter exalted in 7th house and will not get married. Yes, you will get married. I feel such strong energy you will get married. However, you have Mars debilitation in 7th house. This might show why the engagement was broken. You have Saturn retrograde in Lagna. This might show why the marriage is delayed. So even though the moon and Jupiter, very high dignity in the 7th house, support marriage very strongly, that the Mars debilitation and the Saturn retrograde are presenting obstacles. So yes, this person will get married, I believe. I believe you should have much hope because with moon in Cancer, you are a very family-oriented person. You will be great mother. And if with Jupiter exalted, you will be very devotional towards your partner. So this is very good for your energy as mother. This is very good for your energy as wife. It's just, now your Mercury, you were in Mercury Mahadasha with the Jupiter Antardasha, and there is a energy of 4th house of Moksha energy, the house of the home, and then Saturn coming up as the delayer. But Saturn is a planet that delays, but it does not deny. And when Saturn is a natural sign of Capricorn, it will delay very long. It will bring many tests. It will bring many obstacles, but the grass is greener always on the other side. That is my favorite thing to say about Capricorn karma, that the grass is greener on the other side, because there is direct relationship between adversity and success, challenges and prosperity. So the fact that your engagement was broken, as painful as that was, and I feel so much compassion for that. But however, that might actually be good sign that the next engagement will be firm. Because Saturn is showing that there will be obstacles there. I imagine during your Mercury-Saturn Dasha, towards the end of your Saturn Dasha, you will be married. So that is again by February 2020. So we're still looking at a delay. We're still looking at a heavy delay here that will manifest between 2020 and 2022. That is when I expect the marriage.
Okay, so I believe Janvi might have got answer regarding her questions, and that should be helpful for her. So after this question, Sanati, by your permission, can we wrap up for the day?
Of course. It's just so much fun to share this time with you, Mohit, and I am really in deep gratitude for your service and devotion to Jyotish.
Thank you so much, Nati, and I'm really thankful to you for spending your valuable time with us and taking all these queries from our audience and elaborately and patiently giving replies to all of them.